This Pride Month, we're celebrating a true icon, someone who didn't just break boundaries in music, but in identity, technology, and visibility. Wendy Carlos was the first person to win a Grammy for electronic music, and she helped invent the very instrument that made it possible. In the 1960s, engineer Robert Moog had just created a modular synthesizer, a maze of knobs, patch cables, and humming oscillators. It was groundbreaking, but it wasn't exactly user-friendly, and it certainly wasn't seen as a serious musical instrument. That's where Wendy Carlos came in. A classically trained composer, she wasn't content to just tinker with the Moog. She pushed it far beyond what Moog had imagined, modifying its tuning stability, demanding updates, and building her own custom interfaces to make it expressive enough to perform Bach. Robert Moog himself admitted that Wendy Carlos took it way further than he himself was able to do with the Moog. The result? Switched on Bach, a full album of Bach compositions played entirely on the Moog. And it wasn't just an experimental novelty, it was a sensation. Switched on Bach won 3 Grammys and became a legendary hit and proved that these new synthesizers weren't just toys, they were instruments. Wendy Carlos had launched a revolution. And while all this was happening, Wendy was navigating her gender transition, privately at first and then publicly, at a time when there was virtually no public trans visibility. Wendy, biologically born a boy, from the age of 6 already felt gender dysphoria. She began transitioning in the late 1960s. Here she is in a 1970 BBC interview. She went through gender affirmation surgery in 1972 and bravely came out in 1979, not for sensationalism, but to reclaim her own story. Here she is in 1989. After Switched on Bach, she composed haunting and innovative film scores for A Clockwork Orange, The Shining, and Tron, merging electronic and orchestral sounds decades before it was common. Wendy Carlos did not just master the machine. She changed what it meant to be a musician, a composer, and a person claiming space for themselves in a world not built for them. This Pride Month, we honor her legacy, not just for what she made, but for the possibilities she made visible.